my third guy plays some games.
Alright, hi everybody, Weather Guy here, and we are back with some more of the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Today we are wrapping up, hopefully, the memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro, and then we're going to proceed to whatever the next case is. I saw the name of it at some point when we first started this game, but I don't remember. Let's see what Soseki has to say. Oh, yes, yes, at last! Divine justice duly done! I can't believe it was Miss Greenstill, that was crazy. Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. Brutal. No, this has nothing to do with my mustache! Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes. Welcome student, Mr. Ryu Esquire, once again, you've saved me from doom! Very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days. Very true. Now we know that he goes back to America. Japan rather, God. Oh no, did I say America in a previous video too? I hope not. Oh, gross. I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst in our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to this land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books. You've had such a difficult time, haven't you? Ah, but a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not? You did. And I've seen more of life in this week than all in my years to date. For the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind the wall of fog. Great. My dear fellow, there's nothing special about the true face of the English as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are a few genuine differences. Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live. Well said. I've come to feel the same way. Alright, what do we got going on now? I've made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan. What? Why he looks like he's about to snap his own neck. It's like he's about to do a Mortal Kombat fatality to himself. Look at that, posed by Soseki there. Just when we become friends here in England. What a terrible shame. Oh, I know, that does tug at my heartstrings, it really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. Novel of sorts, I suppose. Oh my, you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume? How wonderful! Oh, well, no, I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature. It's being humble. Why not, when that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache? I suppose you're right, yes. It will in a way be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur. I, for one, would love to read your work. Again, we still have to... I don't know if we're going to investigate the treasure or not. That was in Soseki's home, but it may still come up. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious. From a battle with the Reaper. Oh, that's us. That's very true. There is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor. The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand. Yep. My goodness, yes, faced with such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure. Yep, go back home, buddy. But that's not why I'm leaving. I mean it. Oh, that's his objection. I love that, huh? And that was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Seke did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. So on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar. Barely any time later, Susato was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. On the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. Yeah, so something that her father saw in those stories by Soseki made him want Susato to return home. So there's definitely something there that I'm not quite grasping, right? We'll see. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial, on the following day. Oh, of course, we haven't experienced it yet. The day that we uncovered the loot. Oh, we are going to find it. Hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. Alright. I'm curious about what the loot is, because it says it's £1,000 worth, right? But what form will that take? Will it actually just be £1,000, or will it be some object, right? Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. How simply marvelous of you to uncover the secret hiding place in just one day. Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes? As I believe I told you, my dear fellow, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson? He is munching. Grexy's been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily? I think perhaps humorlessly might be closer to the truth. So, it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling. What's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let us look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's haul. Alright, here we go. What is that? It is some object. Some sort of band with a letter on it. Looks to be some sort of neckband or collar. That's very odd. Huh. Definitely looks like a collar, doesn't it? Oh my god, I know what this is. I know what this ties to. I know what this must tie to. I bet in some way it ties to the Hound of the Baskervilles, right? That looks like that might be a bee there too. And that's another mystery that we haven't really dove deeper into yet, right? Because it's a very important manuscript. And we didn't find out why. It was very secretively kept by Sholmes. And we know that Susato knows something about it as well, somehow. And this could very well be the dog collar of the Hound, which is a very big hound. That's my theory, but I could be disproven within like 2 minutes. Look at all the gemstones set in it. I can see why it was claimed to be worth £1,000. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. It could also be that the Hound of the Baskervilles isn't the same story as it is traditionally in Sherlock Holmes, right? That could just be the title, but it's a different sort of story altogether. Because I don't remember a jewel-encrusted collar in the original story. I don't even remember exactly how it was resolved. I think it had something to do with gas and illusions and stuff, maybe. I don't know. Oh, have you noticed on the inside there are some dark stains? That's blood. You don't think it could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it. On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as belt. Then of course there's this emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown. That's gotta be Baskervilles, right? What does it signify, do you think? Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know? Where could it have been? It's Baskervilles. That's enough of— Yep. Sholmes is all ready to wrap it up. He's in serious mode. That's enough of that, I think. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? All the color has drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this, oughtn't you? Could be valuable evidence, after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key. Yes. Get your grubby hands off that, you lot, and hand it over. Now. Great, I'd love to see it. I'd never seen a collar that large before. And all those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. That's not what stood out the most to me. At least not once I noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar. Those stains. Could they really have been blood? Definitely blood. Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? but it's all buttoned up now. You look very pleased, Iris. I am, because I was starting to wonder what I could use at the basis of this month's story in the magazine. This case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating. Talking about the latest installment of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I presume. The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustached man and the convict's curse, perhaps. I can make it a two-part story. Oh, I can't wait. Great, we'd love to see it. A word, please, Iris. Yes, what is it, Early? I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question. What? Why not? It's a great case. Then I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your two titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear? Yeah. This is all tying together to the Hound of the Baskervilles case, which may also be tying all together somehow into the larger case and conspiracy. You know, because we only have 3 cases left to resolve everything in this game, right? So, we'll see. That seems to be the conclusion, though.
So it was that the second of Soseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity. Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Yes, the Great Exhibition. We've been hearing about that a lot, too. For months now. Great. Very foreboding. And another case completed. 3 cases to go. We are going to continue on, though. So we're only about 12 minutes into the video. We're going to continue into episode 3 of Resolve. And if you're curious, you can always look whenever I go to these save screens and see where I'm at. What day it is for me. It's 3:26 at 11:12 p.m. Very unexciting, I guess. The Return of the Great Departed Soul. Okay, now this is something that I'm quite intrigued about. Because when it comes to these games, and a phrase like the Great Departed Soul and the Return, there's 2 people that I can imagine returning. And it could be neither of them, but these 2 people I imagine returning, and those are somehow Kazuma returning, or somehow McGilded returning. I think McGilded makes more sense, but I think that when you use a term like great, I think it has a bit more of a positive annotation to it. So I would think it would be Kazuma, but could I easily be neither, right? Episode 3. The Return of the Great Departed Soul. This is gonna be cool. We're gonna get some cool scenes.
The century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Sherlock Holmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case.
A man's death.
And like the centerpiece of the Great Exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
Okay. Okay.
We're here here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
I had a feeling it would be something like this. When I hear instantaneous kinesis, I think of teleportation, right? And this makes me think of The Prestige, which I won't spoil much about the movie, but there's a important magic trick in the movie that involves teleportation, right? And a lot of the movie centers around this same sort of time period and the same sort of scientific expo stuff too, so I had a feeling we might get some sort of teleportation. I'm glad we have. See The Prestige, by the way. I think that's my favorite movie ever. It's so good.
By a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location. Whereupon his body
Also,
will
Wonka
be
Vision, this is.
assembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
Minus the shrinkage. I'm assuming this man's gonna be the one who dies.
In but a few moments from now,
This person's innocent.
this gentleman will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air
Although I thought Miss Green was innocent, so who knows.
to arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you.
This one, yes. Whoa! Yes.
Yeah, definitely watch The Prestige though, as Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, Scarlett Johansson, Andy Serkis, Michael Caine. Really good stuff. Oh, we're not going to see the results of that. We're over here at Sholmes' suite. Okay. This is much later, for sure. This is like 8 months after the previous case that we just saw. The Clouded Kokoro memoirs. But we are... This is the farthest future, right? That makes sense. I don't know. Runo, are you listening? Oh, sorry, what was that, Iris? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again? I want to see if anything was added to our... No, okay. Today's paper! It's full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Of course, she's obsessed with it. She loves science. Ah, yes, the Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley? Again, we don't have Sasato with us anymore. Did you say something, Iris? Oh gosh, you're even more down. Odd. When did you arrive, Mr. Ryu? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I thought you might have known I was here, because breakfast. Ryu also lives here still, presumably, as well. Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes. For example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. Clearly it can be deduced therefore that... let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Rude. And that especially hurts for me as someone who looks like they never get a haircut. I really need one. It's getting to the point where I'm constantly batting it out of my eyes, and I'm too old to have this sort of haircut, I think. I'm in my 30s, for Christ's sake. Thanks again. He won't stop laughing. There he goes. Cosmo and I recently that it's been 6 months now. 6 months? Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm gonna be banned. Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley? Oh, he's glum again. Hmm? Did you say something, Iris? Ah, back to moping. Interesting. Why is he moping? What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? Seems even more down in the dumps than me. I know, and the great exhibition has opened. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go see it together? I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. I bet he's been banned for some shenanigans before. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from? Is that it? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley. I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. Alright, here we go. Time to start talking. Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in the trial heard at the Old Bailey. Man, I really enjoyed that case, the one for Gina Lestrade. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. Words fail me, the situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Ryu. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, and so that's what I've been doing. You have? Hang on a second. I realize I need to take out my phone. Just to make sure I don't have any messages from the wife. If she needs me. Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room and the notes about Sholmes' old cases. Brewing Iris' special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Ryu. Well, thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically Lord Strongheart at the British Supreme Court on Whitehall. Lord Strongheart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice, not my favorite fellow. I have a theory about this, by the way, as well. I think that Strongheart is majorly involved in whatever is going on a big conspiracy level. Because he is an imposing figure that we've seen glimpses of so far, but not a ton. But when I look at the cover for this game, he is a fairly prominent figure on the cover, like the image of him, and it's also in a pretty intimidating pose, so I have a feeling that Strongheart is a pretty powerful villain in the story that we haven't really dove into yet. Just a thought. It's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. And he would be someone that would have the power, I think, to rig all these juries for whatever reason as well, you know? He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. I can't do that just sitting around here. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. In the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things and the world will be watching. Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Well, look down on... Do you mean those things fly? Have y'all ever been in a hot air balloon? I never have, but I would love to try it one day. My wife actually got an idea today to crochet some hot air balloons that you hang from the ceiling. Some really cute ones. And that they would go in our kiddo's room. I think that would be nice. Yes, of course, they fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air. But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. Can't understand it at all. That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong in the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Huge explosion was probably during the teleportation. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are. Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here. Every page of this paper carries some article or other about the Great Exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Is that true? I guess that might be true if you're talking relatively, right? Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Oh, it's in the court record. Interesting. Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? Let's take a look at it. There's the front. There's the back, which we cannot get right side up. The Reaper attacked. Oh, that's interesting. Let's look at the front first. Every article on the front page is news about the Great Exhibition. Public experiments to demonstrate brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's also positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go to see it properly before too long. There's the, first test of matter transport device. Can't read what it says there. But I'm guessing it went okay based on this, but this might be a day-old newspaper. Lost cat. Oh, I hope it's not Soseke's lost cat. Compatriot cornered, interesting. So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what? What's the matter, Bruno? Who is that? With... The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zieks. This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? Who is that with him? Who's his compatriot? Why do they look so sinister? How did they get that photo? That's interesting. Ruffians aim to intimidate a man of justice. That's intriguing. St. Bartholomew's Hospital down here. Can't read any of the text below it, sadly, but that's okay. Interesting. We'll talk about that in a sec. Actually, let's go. That's relevant now. Let's talk about it. It says in the paper that Lord Van Zieks was attacked. That's terrible. You know, the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Baroque Van Zieks. They say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. Except in the case of McGilded. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Ryu? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zieks has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zieks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? You're the world's greatest detective, you should know. On the article it says, as to what of Lord Van Zieks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow. We're gonna go visit him at St. Bartholomew's? Yeah. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? Or Strongheart, perhaps? Okay. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add, that's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Ryu. You must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. Oh. You're acting very strangely, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated a case is, the better Hurley's mood. Ah. Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you are making deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes? Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. Ah, that was a deep sigh. Interesting. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. Thought hadn't crossed my mind. Now I'm wondering where you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. We're gonna run across him randomly, investigating around, huh? Listen to him, he's still laughing on his way out of the door. Oh, brother. Alright then, Bruno, let's get going. Oh, Iris, what are you wearing? I've got change to go to the Great Exhibition. You're gonna take me. What, but I was just about to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then. Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you? Of course, and after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the Great Exhibition. Alright. Anything to examine in here? Oh, everything is fresh. Great, we'll start left to right. Every time I look at that machine, I can't help thinking what a monstrosity it is. And what's it called again? Great analytoscope. It can analyze absolutely anything, you know. It does seem incredible, and at the same time, incredibly useless. Ah, but it looks impressive, doesn't it? So that makes it very useful. How does that make it useful? Because it means you can pawn it for lots of money. Pawnbrokers always make idle remarks like, what an incredible looking machine. So Hurley often takes us to the pawn shop when he's a little short. Sounds like this thing pulls its weight around here more than I realized, by having its weight pulled around. Alright. Let's see what else we got to work with. This stuff up here. Books, papers, scientific implements. These shelves are stuffed to the gunwales. Mrs. Sada wouldn't be able to help herself if she were here. She can't stand mess. Susie might not be able to stand mess, but she wouldn't dare touch those shelves. Oh, why not? Everything's in intricate balance. Hurley spends ages on it. If you were to touch even one thing, the whole lot would come tumbling down. Susie noticed it was a very delicate arrangement, right from the outset. Make it sound like a meeting of great minds. The truth is, Mr. Sholmes just needs to tidy up. Yep. Messy people are so funny, myself included, with how particular they are about their messes, and if you clean up their mess, they get frustrated because now they don't know where the stuff in their mess is at. Ah, yes, Mr. Sholmes' faithful music companion. Why did I say it like that? Was this violin made by somebody famous? Yes, it's a Stradivarius. Yep. I'm afraid you had to save up for 100 years before you could afford one, Runo. If I were to save up for 100 years, I wouldn't choose to buy a violin, personally. Oh, what would you buy then? I really have no idea. I think I'll have to do it so I can find out. Alright. Violin just seems like such a difficult instrument, by the way. Couldn't imagine. Oh yes, a huge metal chest with a lace cloth lid on it. You use as a table for coffee and tea. It's very sturdy, that's for sure, and firmly locked shut. That chest contains my father's detailed records of Hurley's many cases. Yes, so I've been led to believe, though personally I've never actually seen inside. And that's the way it will stay. Those papers are a secret between Daddy and me. You go opening it uninvited, you might find yourself being bitten. What? Is there a beast inside there or something? I think we're gonna save visiting Mr. Strongheart for next time, actually. Just judging by our time here now, I think we're gonna be getting a little close. I want us to do Strongheart and the exhibition next time. I do love a good fire in the colder months. Watching the flames flickering and dancing about is just so very relaxing. Cleaning out the chimney isn't so relaxing, though. No, getting covered in soot isn't my idea of fun. You know, Hurley decided he was going to clean it out himself last year. You can guess what happened, can't you? He got himself stuck inside the flue. It's a very slim man, I admit, but there's limits to where a fully grown man can fit. Every time he dozes off by the fire, he has nightmares about it. I've never actually seen someone clean the chimney. I think it happens in Mary Poppins, but I've never seen it. Seems like you could just get a very long implement, start from the top of the house, whatever, and then feed it down through the bottom, and then just use that to wrap all against the sides, you know, with one person on top, one person on the bottom. That seems like a safe way to do it. Or just a really strong fan of some kind. All these different pieces of evidence from cases that Mr. Sholmes has solved are very interesting. The trouble is, Hurley forgets things so quickly, he never remembers why these things are relevant. The other day, for example, he saw the orange pips that were there and decided to plant them in the garden. Pips? Yes, they've all sprouted now. You have 5 new little plants. Oh, well, I don't know what case they were from, but Mr. Sholmes can get oranges to grow outside in England. He's changed his profession. Dude, I love oranges. I think oranges are easily my favorite fruit. They're so good. Oranges and bananas all day long. Bananas are great because they're just so easy to open and eat, you know? They're great food on the go. And they're so good for you. Oh yes, this is where you note down ideas, isn't it, Iris? What's in the melting pot today? The blue carbuncle. Yes, it's from a case of theft that Hurley solved ages ago. Theft of a precious stone. Carbuncle is another name for a garnet, you see, especially if it's cut with a rounded top. Oh, really? And this garnet was blue, was it? Well, that's the thing. They're usually red. No blue garnets have ever been discovered. Oh. So who knows what the stolen gemstone actually was? That's the real mystery of the case. Proper Sherlock Holmes conundrum, huh? Interesting. Again, I think I mentioned this last time, but I did go to the library recently. And I got a collection of Sherlock Holmes stories, which I'm excited to dive into. And I got the Hamilton book. And I also got a book called The Pirate King, which also features Sherlock Holmes in it as a character. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to read all those books. I look forward to finding out what aroma your tea will have, Iris, every single day. Ah, well, I infuse a different concoction of herbs from the garden every time, so it's never the same twice. Call it a concoction, it sounds more like a science experiment than something for tea time. Oh yes, that's because different blends can have very different properties. Some calm you down, some make you feel jolly, some give you energy. Today's particular blend is something quite special, so you're really in for a treat. That sounds ominous. Yeah, I'm not big on drinking strange teas. So many different bottles up there on that charming little set of white shelves. Oh, do you be careful, Bruno. You mustn't try the contents of any of those bottles, even if you're hungry. I wouldn't do something stupid like that. I'm not a child, you know. Oh, she's a child, though. That's offensive. Well, I wish I could say the same for Hurley. The other day, he polished off a full bottle of one of my alkaloids. What? Didn't she say this last time? He said he was hungry. I'll be extra careful. Yeah. Yeah. She definitely... I think she said that last time we talked about that. I can type my shut, you know. I can believe it. When a deadline's approaching, you sound like a Gatling gun. Man, let me talk about this for a second. The touch typing stuff. I got a little bit of a side thing about this. I learned touch typing, I think, in middle school. We had a couple of computer classes at school where one of the main focuses for one of the classes was just learning how to do touch typing, and it was great. I loved learning it. It made me feel incredible. I was very good at it. Still am great at typing. But again, I learned it in middle school, you know, which I think was the standard for people around that time frame in the like mid 2000s, early 2000s, right? Mid 2000s. But today, my kiddo is in first grade and she's already learning touch typing in school. Isn't that crazy? They can hardly, you know, put together a sentence in terms of writing, you know? They're touch typing. It's crazy to me. Very impressive. Very impressive. I can believe it. When a deadline's approaching, you sound like a Gatling gun. That reminds me of a dream I had the other day. It was such a funny one. It woke me, actually. I was typing for a whole hour in the pitch black, but I didn't make a single mistake. That's incredible. But then, when it got light, I found that there wasn't any paper in the machine. Makes no sense, because you would hear the paper and you would have to change out the paper and stuff, but I guess it was a dream. You might just have fallen asleep on the job. Yeah. Anything else to observe in here? Seems like it may be it. I'm surprised we don't have... I'm surprised we're opting to visit Strongheart first, instead of stopping by St. Bartholomew's, because we've gone there a lot of times with no problems to check to see if somebody's there. But it seems like this time we will be going to Chief Justice's office for Strongheart. There may also be stuff in Ryu's room. So I think next time I'm actually going to open with checking out Ryu's room. Even though this is progressing the story probably, I think this is better. Oh, this is his actual office. This is a different location. We've met him before, like at the courthouse, but it was like in the lobby. This seems to be his office, which is intriguing. And yeah, we'll do that all next time. We're gonna hopefully finish up the investigation phase, but I imagine not. Imagine it will be a bit more time before we're done with investigating, simply because we are unaware entirely of any crime, right? So we haven't even really actually begun investigating. We're just kind of easing our way into the story, right? But that's all I got. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be on the final 3 cases of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I'm excited to see how it wraps everything together. I'm honestly very intrigued, just because the way the first half of this ended, wrapping things together, was very well done. The way it wrapped together a lot of threads, and I'm excited to see how all of the threads wrap together, because I'm actually I'm pretty confident that it's going to wrap together in a very satisfying way. And I'm just excited to see how it does that, you know, because we have time. We have 3 cases. That's like 25 hours of gameplay, maybe. That's a lot of time for information to be divulged to me, you know. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Make sure you take care of others. And take care. Yeah. Peace out.